Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Bucket List Mom. My name is Elizabeth, and you guys, I'm so excited for this video today. So today I am sharing with you my top 15 places that I have to travel to in my lifetime off of my bucket list. And this was really hard because I literally want to travel just about everywhere, but I had to narrow it down to the top 15 experiences that I would really like to have. I recently made some other videos where I shared with you my top 10 things on my bucket list, and I purposefully did not include vacations or places I wanted to travel because it needed a video of its own. And I am cheating a little bit. I try to keep it within the top 15. I was really trying for the top 10 and couldn't make that, but I did lump a few of these together to keep it within the top 15. So without further ado, let's get started. The very first thing on my list, and these are in no particular order, I want to do all of them, but the first thing I have on my list is that I would like to spend 6 months in Italy. And why I want to do that is because there's so many different cities and places I would like to visit in Italy that it's like impossible to just go for like a week or two at a time and get them all in. I really want to go to Italy and like experience the culture and submerge myself in the culture for about 6 months and really get to live there and work there and see what life is like there and travel around to lots of different cities and really get to experience Italy. So that's the first thing on my list. The second thing I have on my list is to go camping in the Grand Canyon. And I've actually been to the Grand Canyon numerous times, but I've never hiked down to the bottom and I've never camped there. And so it's a really easy one actually because it's only about 4 hours away from us. We live in Phoenix, Arizona, and so it's super easy to do. But I've been so busy having babies for the last, 15 years that I just haven't ever gotten around to going camping down in the Grand Canyon. So what I want to do is ride the donkeys down the really narrow, path, the little like ledge, and get down to the bottom and actually camp down there and experience that. And that's something I would like to do kind of soon too, because I don't want my kids to get too old to where they're not going to want to go. That's definitely something I don't want to do like in my retirement. I want to do that with my kids as a family. So that would definitely be a really good one to do kind of soon. Number 3 is that I want to hike Havasupai Falls. So Havasupai is an Indian reservation here. It's a little bit north of where we are. And the Havasu Falls are like this really beautiful waterfall. I mean, it's like incredible. But because it's on an Indian reservation, they only allow so many people to get to go per year. You have to get like a pass to go, and you have to win a lottery system to be able to do that. So it's very hard to get a pass. There's definitely like different things you have to do at certain points of the year. You have to be very aware of when that occurs and have your timing right and everything. And even then, it's still like a lottery system. And so that's something that someday I'm really crossing my fingers that I'll be able to do. It's like an 8-mile hike in and then an 8-mile hike back out, and that's the only way that you can get to it. And I am not in good physical hiking shape for that right now. I would not be able to physically do that in my body, which is one of the reasons why I am working so hard to lose weight, because I want to have these moments where I can do those kind of things. And if you're not in good physical shape, like it really does hold you back from being able to go have these experiences and do these things. And so that is a really big thing I'm working on right now off my bucket list, is losing the weight. And Havasupai Falls is like one of the #1 things on there for when I lose the weight. I'm gonna go do this, and I'm gonna take you guys along with me, and it's gonna be awesome. So the next thing on my list, number 4, is to hike Machu Picchu. So there's different ways that you can get to Machu Picchu, but I want to actually hike it, and I have to be in good physical shape to do that too. So that's a really big one. I really want to visit Machu Picchu someday. I don't really know where the fascination with it comes from. It's just something I'm really interested in. So my next one on the list is to visit the Holy Lands. I don't make any secret on this channel that I am a Christian, and so to get to walk where Jesus walked and to see where he lived and to see some of these sites, like where he got baptized in the Jordan River, and just a whole like Holy Land tour would be really incredible on my list. That is something I hope that I can do with my kids and my family. Like, it's just a really important thing for our faith that would be incredible. And so that is number 5. Number 6 is to visit New York, which I have been there before. I would definitely love to visit New York and get to spend a lot of time sightseeing in New York. I wasn't there for long enough to do everything that I wanted to do, but part of the bucket list is not to just go to New York and sightsee, even though that's definitely on there, but I want to go and see the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And I also want to go when the ball drops in New Year's. And I want to actually be in Times Square when the ball drops on New Year's. I don't care what year I go, but I just want to experience that one year. So my hope would be that I could actually go before Thanksgiving, see the parade and actually stay all through December, or have a Christmas there or something, and then have New Year's there. And that would be really, really awesome. So that's something definitely on my bucket list to experience someday. Number 7 is visit the Grand Cayman Islands and swim with the stingrays. So I know there's this spot, maybe called Stingray Bay. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But it's by the Grand Cayman Islands. You go there and there's all these stingrays, and they don't sting you for some reason. I don't know why. If their stingers were removed, I don't know why, but I know that they're these huge stingrays, and you get to actually like swim with them under the water, and they're all around you. And like, I don't know much more about it than that, but I know that I absolutely have to experience that someday. One thing you should know about me is that I love stingrays. I could just hug them and pet them. I love them. I love animals, but stingrays, I really especially love to pet. So to get to swim with big ones is just a really big thing off my list. So for this next one, number 8, I lumped a bunch of things together, but the main part of it is to go to Puerto Rico, and I want to go visit the bioluminescent bays. So there are like these bays there, like inlets, you know, like little bodies of water off of the ocean, where they have like a certain bacteria or something in the water that when you kind of go through it with your boat and it's disturbed, like it lights up, this bioluminescence, and it glows like this beautiful like blue color. That is one of the biggest number 1 things I want to do on my travel bucket list, is go see these bioluminescent bays in Puerto Rico. It's very hard to do. You have to be aware of the moon cycling, and you can only go, you know, you really have to be careful with who you go out with, I think. It's a very fragile ecosystem, and so you definitely do have to be careful. And it's something I really, really want to do before it disappears. I don't know. I'm nervous that if that bacteria dies off, or if there's pollution or whatever that affects it, then, you know, the bays won't be bioluminescent anymore. So I feel like that's something I really need to do while it's still available to do it. And so along with that, I decided to lump in there Jamaica. I would really like to go to Jamaica. My parents have went. I've never been. But one thing I absolutely have to do is try breadfruit. And I could buy it here off of even like Amazon, and I don't think it's something that's particularly tasty. It's really starchy, or more like a potato. But when I was in 5th grade, a little girl traveled to Jamaica, not from my class, but she ended up bringing a piece of breadfruit to my teacher to try. And so my teacher ate it in front of the whole class, but we didn't get any. It was just one piece for my teacher. And since then, since 5th grade, I've never tried breadfruit. How many years ago was that? And it is absolutely something I have to do. So I want to do it though in actual Jamaica. I want to experience Jamaica. I don't want to necessarily try it out of a can off of Amazon, even though I probably will do that and make a video on it, but I want to try it for real while I'm in Jamaica. So that's another thing. And then when I'm done in Jamaica, I'm going to pop on over to Costa Rica, because I want to go zip lining in Costa Rica. I know you can go zip lining anywhere. I know there's some fabulous zip lines all around the world, but for me, for some reason, I need to zip line in Costa Rica. It's just part of the bucket list. And so those 3 I kind of lumped together. I know that's kind of cheating, but they kind of go together, and those are a couple things that are really important for me. Number 9 is a cruise. I have never been on a cruise, not even one. I don't know what it's like. I've never experienced it. I would love to go on multiple cruises. I've heard some really great things about the Norwegian cruise lines. I would definitely love to go on a Caribbean cruise. I would love to go on a Disney cruise. I think that would be really neat. And I would also like to go on an Alaskan cruise. I have never whale watched anywhere, and I need to go whale watching. And definitely I would love to try that up in Alaska. My dad actually took a Alaskan cruise before he passed many years ago, and I was not with him on that trip, but he said it was absolutely incredible. And so since then, an Alaskan cruise has been on my list, but definitely a Caribbean cruise as well. Like, you get to pop on over to so many different places without having to fly in each place individually. And so that's something really neat about a cruise. And you know what? Let's just throw in a Mediterranean cruise while we're at it, because I want to go just about everywhere in the Mediterranean, and that's not even actually on my list as one of the top 15. I'm kind of almost intimidated. I don't know what to put on there, because I want to go everywhere in the Mediterranean. I want to visit Santorini, Greece. There's just so many places. I mentioned Italy already. There's just so many places that I would love to see. And so a Mediterranean cruise might be a really great way to do that. My next one, number 10, is to visit Stonehenge in England. I have wanted to do that forever. And I've actually had fear at one point that it would fall or topple over before I got there. And so I've been waiting to do that for a really long time, and I still haven't gotten there, and that is a huge thing on my list. And while I'm there, I'm going to pop on over, I think it's in Scotland is where it's actually at, but they have the whole Harry Potter, I guess, film set everywhere where they filmed like the soundstage, like they left it and turned it into a tour. And I have some family members who are as big of Harry Potter fans as we are. We are big ones in our family. And they got to go do it, and I have been dying to do that for years. And so someday I'm gonna get there because I want to go see the set of Harry Potter and where they filmed it. And so I'm gonna combine England and Scotland together, and I'm gonna do those at the same time. The next one is number 11, and that is to get an RV and drive around the country in an RV and experience it that way. The problem is I want to travel just about everywhere in the United States. I want to see everything. I just want to see everything, and it's hard being way out here in the West. There's some really neat road trips to take out here, but it's hard to ever get over to like New England. And so I want to get an RV, and I want to just travel around and live in the RV and experience what life is like. It's really fun and different road tripping somewhere versus like flying somewhere, because you get to see so much of the country, and you get to just, I love that visual. I love to understand the landscape of our country. I love to understand where places are. I just love it. I love to see it. I love road trips. I love road trips so much. Most of our vacations on this channel will probably be road trips. So while we're at it, I'll tell you where I want to drive my RV. So I didn't even include this on my list. But I want to drive all the way up the California coast. I want to drive on the Pacific Coast Highway. I want to go up and I want to see all the redwoods. I want to go up into Oregon, and then I want to visit Forks, Washington, which they've turned into kind of like a touristy town now. I really do like Twilight. I really do. I've read the books. I've seen all the movies multiple times. I wasn't one of those like die-hard crazy, fans, but like I really did enjoy that series, and I would love to go up there and visit it. I think it's really cool that they turned it into some kind of touristy thing, and they've made it fun, and so I want to go do that. I want to hop on over to Yellowstone. I've never been to Yellowstone Park, and I'd like to do that. I'd also like to drive through like New Mexico. I want to drive through Roswell. I would love to drive north. I have a cousin in Montana, and I've never been to Montana. And then I'd like to pop on over to like South Dakota. I've never visited Mount Rushmore. I want to go into Minnesota. I want to visit the Mall of America. I've never done that. I would really like to go over to Indiana, where they have the Creation Museum. I'd like to experience that. There's some really beautiful places in Michigan all around the Great Lakes that I'd really like to explore. I'd definitely like to go south as well. I've never been to a lot of different places in Texas. Would be really interesting. I've really never been anywhere in Texas. I would love to go to Houston, San Antonio, Dallas, Austin. All those places sound really interesting to me. And definitely I'd love to go travel along the South too. I've never been to New Orleans. Florida has like a ton of destinations that I'd like to go to. I'd really like to rent a Jeep and go drive through the Florida Keys and get all the way to Key West, but you got to do it, in an open Jeep. That would be awesome. There's a ton of things I want to do in Florida, like swim with manatees. I really, really have an affection for manatees. I don't know why, but I do. That's been there since I was a little kid. I used to collect stuffed animals that were manatees, and I want to visit the Everglades. I want to pet a baby crocodile. I've done that in my life, but I want to do that again. And really, I'd like to travel all the way up the East Coast. There's tons of things we'd like to do in New York. I've never been to Niagara Falls. Right now I'm studying New England with my second grader, and so we're learning about all the places to visit in those northeastern states. And so there's a ton of stuff I would like to do over there. I'd like to go visit the Carolinas and do different things. There's places in Georgia I would like to visit. There's the Cabbage Patch Baby Nursery in Georgia. I've wanted to do that since I was a little girl, so I would absolutely love to do that. I pretty much want to drive everywhere. I mean, there's so many things, and it's all over. If you just rented an RV and just drove, then you could accomplish a whole lot more, right, than just doing individual vacations and flying to each individual spot. So yeah, that was number 11. And so number 12 is to visit Fiji and Hawaii and really any of the islands over there in the Pacific. I've never been to Hawaii. I've never been anywhere over that way. But what I really, really want to do is stay in one of those little like hotel, like bungalow things, like over the water where they have the glass at the bottom of the hotel, like in your room, and you can see the fish like swim by and everything. I want to do that so bad. I don't totally care where it is. I know they have them in Fiji, probably in Bali too. I want to go everywhere over there. That would be awesome. I've never really snorkeled. I've snorkeled at Disney World, and I think that's it, which doesn't even really count. I've never actually snorkeled and seen like a coral reef and seen all the beautiful fish and done that. I've never had an experience like that. So that is a huge thing on my bucket list that I would like to do. Number 13 is visit the Great Wall of China. I've never been to China. China is on my list to go visit. I think it's a really fascinating country and culture. I know there's political issues and things going on with China right now, but it still remains on my bucket list as something that I would love to go visit and go do. I would love to see the Great Wall. I think that is a really, really neat experience to be on there and have the pictures and to say, yes, I've been there. So that is a big deal for me. The next one is my husband's top place that he would like to visit. So I included it on my bucket list because it's probably something that we're going to do, but he would like to visit Germany, and that's his #1 travel destination that he'd like to go to. And while we're there, we'll probably visit Poland as well. Poland is really special to me. So my main heritage is German and Polish. I'm a little bit more German than I am Polish, but that's my ancestry and it fascinates me. My grandma is 100% Polish, and so I grew up with a lot of the Polish things in our culture, just some different traditions and decorations, and it's just special to me. And then when we adopted our son, I was like, where's the #1 place you would want to travel? And he picked Germany also. So we might have to go do that someday soon as a family. That would be really, really awesome. And the last one on my list, but definitely not the least, is number 15, and that is Egypt. Whenever I was a little girl, my dad always said, someday I'll take you to see the pyramids in Egypt and we'll go experience that together. And I have been really interested in the pyramids since I was a little girl. That was one of my most favorite things to study in school, was about the Egyptian culture. I liked reading about the Egyptian religion. It was so fascinating to me. It always has been. And so my dad passed away when I was 23, so he has not been here for quite a while now, and we did not get to go to Egypt while he was alive, but it is definitely something I would still like to do as an adult, and I'd definitely like to take my whole family and my kids and everything with me. It's not something I want to do when I retire, but it's something I want to do now and soon while they're living at home, and something we can do as a family. But I want to see the pyramids so bad. I really think that would be a neat experience. So thank you guys so much for sticking with me till the end and joining me on this video. I want to know, where do you want to travel? I want to travel everywhere, and I've had a really hard time narrowing this down, but I want to know about some of your top best experiences and places that you've vacationed or gone to, things that I should not miss, things that I need to try. Please comment them down below and let me know some neat experiences that you've had, because chances are they will probably end up on my bucket list also. And I hope this video helped you realize maybe where you want to go travel for your bucket list. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd please subscribe, I would really appreciate it. I'm trying to grow this channel. If you liked this video, give me a thumbs up. That would be so awesome. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.
I start to sail on these ocean waves. Nobody knows how to find us. It's turning out to be a perfect day. I just wanna leave our normal lives behind us. So let's get lost out here.